We have Josh here, one of our dear clients from Preston and Co. Property Buyers. So in this interview, just going to run through a couple of questions, share Josh's experience, and so we'll dive straight into it. I guess do you want to just introduce yourself before we hop in?
Yeah, so I'm Josh, the founder of Preston and Co. Property Buyers. Probably been doing this at Preston and Co. for 2 months now. I've been with you for 4 months, I think. So there's a bit of a correlation there to why I'm out on my own. But yeah, ex-Navy, spent 7 years in the Navy. Used to play a little bit of footy back in the day. But when I got out of the Navy, I sort of knew I wanted to do property, jumped into the sales side of thing, and then just through that channel, just discovered that I just preferred working with buyers.
Yeah. So let's start all the way back, because your story is very powerful. And it's not just around I don't want to sit here on this call and just be talking about marketing and things like that. I think it'd be good for you to share your background and your story. So take me back from the start. So you're in the Navy, and then you initially worked in a real estate agency. I guess talk to me about that and how that all was.
So yeah, I guess when I jumped out of the Navy, it's like spending 7 years there where your days structured, you know what you're doing every day. And then when I got out, and that was just due to family. I met my wife and we had our first child. So just got too hard to be away. So then when I got out, I've always had this thing in the back of my head about doing real estate. So I went into a sales role. And it was challenging. It was different. You've got to put yourself out there in different ways. And I just try to take that, I guess, the work ethic, the discipline, the structure that I had in the Navy all the way through to my day-to-day stuff doing the real estate thing. And I think that's why I got through my associate role, I think in 2 to 3 months, and which was close to a record for that company. So, and then I got into sales, and I was doing sales, and it was okay, but I got more excited about chatting with the buyers, and then this sort of just eventuated, and now we're here. But it was challenging because I've never done any sales whatsoever, never. So it was challenging. It was just I just try to work on being personable and building relationships and rapport and that sort of thing, and then hopefully that would take you through to the next step. So
yeah, I feel like sales is just being a dog at a bone and just not letting go, making the calls, doing the phone calls, and I feel like that discipline would have been built up. And I think you might have said it on one of the sales coaching calls, you're used to doing all these hard things, and it's picking up the phone that's easy compared to what you were doing before.
Yeah, so I had some really rough days in the Navy work-wise. Without going into too much detail, some really rough days when some of it comes without being too dramatic. Some of it does come down to some life and death stuff. So I always found if you're having a bad day at work doing this, all you got to do is pick up the phone and make phone calls or chat to people, or, it's not that bad. So I always reflect on some of the worst days I had in the Navy and just sort of get my shit together, I guess, and go, hang on, you're not having a bad day. That was a bad day. This is actually okay. Pick up the phone, make some calls, just roll with the punches. So definitely build a lot of resilience in that sort of respect. But what's the worst that can happen if someone's on the other end of the phone and doesn't really want to talk to you? Big deal.
Yeah, I love that attitude, and not a lot of people have that, and a lot of people build up such a blockage in their mind when thinking about there's someone else on the other side of the phone. But at the end of the day, everyone can speak words. You're literally just speaking to another human, and they're gonna reply back, and you're gonna reply. It's it's not hard at all. The actual action of speaking and talking, it's just the thought of, what are they gonna say on all of this stuff. But once you have that emptied out of your mind, it's so easy to just be hey, how are you? Boom, they answer back. And at the end of the day, it's just you're speaking words. We're doing it right now, but if I was in front of someone else, or if someone was speaking to someone over the phone, they'd build up so much resistance to do it.
Yeah, it's strange. It's funny. And I used to we used to have our meetings and stuff, and I used to say that. I was look, what's the worst that can happen? You're literally on a phone. You don't even have to make eye contact. You're just you're just chatting to them and trying to build some relationship, and just be normal on the phone. You don't have to be salesy. I think people see through all that sort of stuff now. Everyone's on high alert, and ultra aware of like having, being scammed or other phones. So you just got to be like a normal person.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. Let's jump back into your story. So at this stage, you're working still at the real estate agency. How long were you working there before you moved into the whole buyer's agency space?
So I think I was there for about 12 months, and I'd sold a couple of properties, and it got to about Christmas time. It was just taking too much of me. I was getting home late hours. I was getting home cranky. I had 2 kids at the time. Now I've got 3. But it just wasn't like, yes, the money side would be okay once you got the ball rolling, but at what cost? So I'd actually handed my notice in, and I was signing up to do a sports development course, which
Really?
sport's a big passion of mine. And then I went and helped one of the guys do an open home, and all I had to do was chat to the buyers and work the buyers. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I just love doing this. At this time, I didn't really know too much about buyers agents or buyers agencies. So then one of the other agents at the office said, mate, do you want to come and just work my buyers? Pretty much be a buyer's agent, but just, work my buyers. So I did that for, I think, 12 months, and then got to learn more about the buyer's agency space. Got a job with another mob, and then after probably 5 or 6 months there, and like obviously getting in touch with you and working with you, I was able to just take that leap into starting my own agency. So I look back and almost every little thing happened for a reason.
Yeah.
To get to where I am now. I know that's a bit, or a bit like, whatever, but I definitely believe everything that, funnily enough, when I look back, everything has happened, even from the Navy stuff. Like, I got to meet my wife, we've had kids, like, we're super happy. Now we're at this step where I've got my own agency, and I believe everything happened for the reason to get to this point.
Yeah, nice. That's interesting that you were potentially going to go down a sports development degree. Like, imagine you were right now, you'd probably be in uni or something, or just finishing that, and then essentially going into a role which maybe would pay you $150,000, $200,000 a year. Was that like was the whole like entrepreneurial, like start your own business, did that ever cross your mind, like going through like your life, or was it just something which stumbled across and fell on your lap?
Yeah, I always, not really. I was always probably a little bit too scared of running my own business. Just the stress or the challenges that come with it, not doing the job at the other side of it. Always sort of feared it. I thought, I don't really want that stress. I'd rather just work. And like every job I had, I got to like a level where I was in a managerial sort of role, but didn't really want to take that next step. And it wasn't until the buyer's agent stuff, I was like, I think I can generally do this on my own. But yeah, like all that, like sports, obviously a big passion. I look back now, and I'd actually signed up and had to like, I think I did like a little bit of it, and I don't know, couldn't see where it was going to go. And then I happened to get the phone call about going back to work with the buyers. I was like, oh yeah, I'll give that a crack. I could probably do some other stuff on mine, and then just escalated within 12 months. Yeah, probably like 12 months, I've got my own agency.
Yeah. No, it is pretty crazy because so you went from helping the buyers, and then you now working at the other buyers agency, and like how long were you actually working like at a buyers agency, like doing the buyers agent role for?
So I started like last November. Did some training. Obviously had the Chrissy break in between where we had about 4 weeks off, so I wasn't really doing anything. So I probably had about a month and a half of sort of training, I guess. And then in January, I went to full-fledged buyer's agent. So I was contracting to them. And then April, I let them know that I was going to start my own up. So it's probably 3 months after that.
Yep. I think it was April 5th we started working with each other.
Yeah, April 5th we started working with each other, I think it was. And then April 24 was when I started the agency.
It was a very quick turnaround. I saw you were like very excited when we first started, because when we started working with each other, I think it only took us 8 days to get our first client.
Yeah. Yeah.
Walk me through that, because obviously, I guess how was it generating clients before, like by yourself, and when you were working like as a contractor, as a buyer's agent? Like what were you doing to even generate clients?
So my first client I got on my own was off a Facebook off market page. So I just did, someone put a post up about looking for this, and this, and I just messaged them and said, hey, have you considered a buyer's agent? And I was a bit naive. I was actually lucky as well. They wrote back and said, yeah, we actually are. And it probably took a few weeks to get them on board. But then I've never had another one like that since.
Yeah, wow.
Never. So I think I just happened to get in at the right time, and just really connected with this guy. Being he was a country boy like myself as well. So that sort of helped. But yeah, you got to rely on. I happened to go to a inspection for that client, and then there was someone there at the inspection as well who seen I was a buyer's agent and got my card and rang me. So that was just by chance. And then I had a referral, and then I think I had one website lead from the company. So I only ever had that buyer's agent I was working for, I only had one lead come through them. So it was so sporadic and lucky, just timing, and I couldn't rely on that. So
Yeah.
like needed like genuine referrals, which you go and have your coffee catch ups with agents, and everything's really good. And you're building relationships, which is the main thing, is to build relationships with like your brokers and your agents. But I wasn't really getting anything in return in terms of referrals. So my mentality was, I'm here. Why do I have to be like everyone else and wait 6, 12, 18 months to build a name for myself or build myself up gradually?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just engage someone like yourself and just go, like just take off? Like, why do I have to wait? Like I know how to talk to people and that sort of thing. So just do it. What's the point of waiting?
Do you remember our initial first discovery call?
Yeah, you weren't really going to take me on.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, this guy's very new.
Yeah.
I price drop, which I never do. I never tell anyone my price on the discovery call. It's always like, hey, let's have a discovery call. If we can work with you, we'll go back, we'll prepare a strategy. I was like, damn, like I'll price drop. Like if he wants to buy, he can buy it. And I was like, he's still pretty new. Like, but it was great that you took that initiative, because not a lot of people will do that, and everyone like is willing to. Well, I mean, maybe not they're willing, but they're like they get kind of comfortable and complacent. It's like, hey, like we can kind of like drift through this role, but like, you took that initiative and wanting to like engage, and like obviously it's not a easy thing. Like I guess run me through that process, and like what was the train of thought, because like a big investment, obviously in the early stages is something where like you really got to back yourself. It's like, we're really doing this.
Yeah, I guess that's what, like chatting to my wife, and that's what we had to do. We said, just look, if we're going to do this, we need to really back ourselves in. And I just don't see a way of not, like at the time, I didn't have too many overheads. So if I've got to pay to invest in myself, to go further, then that's what we did. And in my head, I'm like, well, one client through this, or say 2 clients through this, from your lead generation, that pays for you for like 12, 18 months. You know what I mean? Like in a sense, like, so I was thinking of it that way. Like I only need a couple, and then that's paid itself off like tenfold, and then just keep going. And that's just with 1 or 2 clients, and we've had, X amount in 3 or 4 months. So I was just under the impression that, look, to be fair, I also had a little bit of money behind me, so I could afford to, if I didn't get a client for 3 or 4 months through this, I was still okay. But at the same time, like you just have to back yourself, because I actually I don't know if I should be telling it. I'll tell it anyway. I had a buyer's agent ring me that was wanting to engage with you as well, and I give you a big rap. And he told me that when he started his buyer's agency on his own, working from home and doing his own thing, it took him 12 months to get his first client.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like, that doesn't sound right. Like, I'm not waiting that long. I am there. Like it just blew my mind. So yeah, I just think if you're going to do it, you're going to have to back yourself. But you got to, if you're going to go out on your own, you're probably going to be in a position where you can cover a few costs early. Like that gave me the confidence to do it. But actually, after speaking to you the first time, and to your credit, you're more worried about me being able to afford it, being so early, not really having too many clients, and and the I guess the drive to do it all. I think I remember asking, I said, look, if money was no issue for me, how would we go? And you're like, yeah, but mate, I'd haven't like, it's like you're so new to the thing. Like it's
Yeah.
you're like, I just want to make sure that you are ready to do it, which was good. So that's what I didn't even try and engage with any other marketing guys after that first chat.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because we probably turned down like it's because obviously with the whole new bunch of buyers agents like coming into the space, like we've been turning down a lot of people. Like just off the fact that like we can't help everyone. There's going to be some people who like don't have like if you didn't have your full background, like say for example you went to uni like straight away after you finished your high school or whatever, and you did that for 15 years, and then it was like now you're moving into it and you've got zero of the skills which you currently have. It's kind of like you need to have that in you. Like you need to have those, like you need to have the discipline. You need to have like that experience. You need to be able to want to get it. You need to be able to take that initiative. And not a lot of people like do have that. But you know, I did see it in you, and I was impressed. Like when you were like, "Oh shit, well, no, that doesn't really matter." And you kind of said it like in a way where it's like, "Nah, it's not a problem for me. Like I'm happy to do it." But yeah, no, that was good. And yeah, obviously, as I said, we've been working with each other 3.5, like close to 4 months now. Would you ever have imagined like where you would be? I mean, not even just like working with us, but like if I took you back 3.5, 4 months ago and put you in the position and like where you are now, you've obviously sitting at your own office, you've closed a lot of deals. Would you ever imagine like this is where you'd currently be?
Nah, sometimes like you've got to, when you're doing this in sort of fast pace, you don't really have a lot of time to go back and reflect on how it's all going. You're just in the mode of like still going. But funny enough, like the last I had at another sort of like Nan was a bit crook, so I had to take a week the other week and go and see her. And then you just sort of, she was asking how everything's going. And I started to reflect on, even to the start of the year. And I just thought, I guess at the time I thought it's probably too good. Like you get your first client, you're like, oh, that's not bad money, but it feels a little bit good to be true. But then it's just been so consistent that I've started to believe in the worth of it all and in myself. But I had no idea I would be, what are we now? Like nearly halfway through the year. I'm probably tenfold for what I thought. Maybe by halfway I'd have like 3 deals done, and I would have been happy with that because I would have been just I'm in my infancy in the industry. But now it's like three a month is like pretty just standard.
Yeah.
It's like if I look back now, at that time, there's no way I thought I'd be doing what I'd be doing right now, and I still in trying to improve and get like so much scope to go even further. And it's like right there to just launch, which I would have been happy at the start going, yeah, let's just try and get one every 6 weeks and then just build ourselves up like that. But it's just gone bang.
We want more. I'm part of that problem. I keep pushing you.
Yeah.
Always the next step. We always got to improve.
Yeah.
I remember you said, "Oh, we've done a 50K month this month," and I was like, "What do you mean 50K? Like, you should feel disgust." Because it's true. Like, if you get complacent at like 50K a month, and like to the average person, it might be like, "Oh, well, like we did 50K." It's like we can kind of like sit there and relax, but that's when kind of stuff starts going downhill. It's like you always need to be going up. It's like a plane. If the engine just stop, like if you have that speed and you're just like keep going, like it'll keep going through like the air and like, just things like not stopping. And obviously a lot of work's like gone in to the back of like I'm sure the past like 3 months. Maybe do you want to talk to us like about like that and like challenges you've faced?
So I guess the challenge starting a new business and getting everything in order to allow you to be able to do your job, and the other stresses that come with you come in and be a buyer's agent for someone and you got no stress but doing the job. And as I said, I had that fear of having my own business. So I guess the struggles of and because mine had to happen quite quickly, like I had the idea, and then once I voiced my idea, it was pretty much I had to start. Like I was at the other agency one day, and the next day I was hustling. Like I had to go and find, chat to clients, like coming through your lead generation. So I was, on the phones, and then so I'm trying to be on the phone. I'm trying to set up the background. I'm trying to do the website. I'm trying to get socials done. I'm trying to, all the legalities around having your own business and, new agency agreements. And there's so much going on that at the start, it probably took away from actually doing the job. But now I'm just being able to put some support in place that I can get to that part where I can just do the job and that's it. But it was something new. Like my days were hectic. Like, you're up at whatever time and you're thinking about it all the time. You go to bed at like 9 o'clock and you're still thinking about it. You wake up and it's almost like you're picking up where you left off, what you're thinking of when you went to sleep last night. Like, it was full on. It's getting better and easier. But now we're in a position where all that's taken care of. We can just keep building the brand and launching.
Yeah, nice. And then obviously with the office and where you are right now, I guess when did that come into play? Like, was that a month and a half in, 2 months in?
No, so I've been in the office for I think 3 or 4 weeks now. Okay. So I had to work from home. So home for me is like 50 minutes from the coast where I operate. So I was in and out all the day, all the time. So I'd have to spend the day in there and just try and, fill my appointments up. And if not, I just have to hang around until if I had one at the start, one at the end. But then, we rattled off a few clients and I was able to put some coin away to, get into an office on the coast so I can come and go as I please. Like, and I'm not wasting that time traveling here and there. So I can come in early in the mornings and just go to inspection, come back, work. It's good. So it probably took, 5 or 6 weeks of being in the business to get into the office.
Yeah, well,
which is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Like I know a lot of solo or independent agencies out there are all just working from home. But I need to be sort of seen, and if I can bring people into the office, and people ask like, where's your office space? If you say I'm at home, I don't know, it just doesn't pack as much of a punch, I believe. But
yeah, especially when it's a client-facing business where like you've got to bring people in, like you meet people, because with your sales process right now, it's pretty much all like coffee chats, correct?
Yeah. So the DC calls, try and get it on Google Meet, or there's another developer we're meeting up for a coffee this week. So it's a lot of face to face. So you got to be personable. You got a pretty quick time frame to build that rapport and relationship. So something you really got to work on with yourself, and that's like your personal skills and that sort of thing. Sometimes it can be hard for people if they're a little bit, worried about that sort of thing. But you really got to put yourself out there, and that's why like also engaging you. I just want to put myself out there completely. And yeah.
Did you feel any sense of like once you obviously started to get to a certain point where like you were making decent coin, it's like you're closing deals, we can kind of just like keep doing this and like we don't have to just reinvest and like put our money into an office and things like that? Did you ever like half your mind said like, oh, maybe we should stay here, and then half like invest? Or was it just all like, no, reinvest here, get the office, keep going, keep pushing forward?
I was pretty much in that frame of mind, like just go, like just keep going. Like if I started to doubt myself, I'd go and have a chat to my wife and she'd back me. So if I had any sort of doubt, and even sometimes she probably didn't necessarily agree with everything because I just wanted to move so quickly. I wanted everything done. So you'd have to hold me up and say, look, let's just concentrate on this for this time. Let's go and do that next week or whatever. But there's no real umming and ahhing. It was like once I had that idea in my head, I was gone. I was doing it no matter what. So yeah, it's just like bouncy ball, like it's just the next steps really, and just I think once you start doubting yourself and second guessing yourself, it's just going to hold you back. And I'm too old to be being held back now. I've got a wife and 3 young kids. Like they're 6, 3, and 1. So in the back of my head is like I need to bust my absolute backside so that they've got a good future ahead of them. And they also look and say, hey, you know, Dad's working his ass off. It instills in them that, you know, we've got good work ethics, and that's how they should be brought up, with a good work ethic. And whether they probably too young to understand now, but eventually they'll see that my wife and I work really hard, and that should be the norm for them, that working hard is what you need to do.
Yeah, nice. It sounds like your wife's been very, very supportive and like been like there the whole journey, because even when you said initially, like you spoke to your wife, like a lot of people, when they say they speak to their wife, it's like they're the opposite. They're like, oh no, don't do this, don't spend the money, and then like they kind of like pull them away. Because like on sales, because I'm sure you're the same, like you might speak to a buyer and they're like, oh, I just need to speak to my wife, and the wife's just the complete opposite, where it's like, hey, like do not do this, we can do it ourselves, or just all this stuff. But yeah, it sounds like it's been the complete opposite for yourself.
Yeah, no, she's a ripper. Pretty lucky. So she, but we won't. Nah, she's super supportive. She'll let me fall on my face, so she'll let me go and do it. And if she hits the fan, she'll just be there to pick me up. Like it's, I wouldn't have had the confidence to just do it the way I'm doing it and try to do it so quickly without her support. So she sees the benefit. She's actually really involved. She's really excited about the prospect of how we're going and how we can be going, and what the future holds. So yeah, as long as she sees me again working hard and you know, bringing her in. So if I'm having any doubts or thoughts, or even if they're good or bad, negative or positive, as long as she's involved in those conversations when I'm having those thoughts going on, you know, there's some things obviously that, you know, you sort of protect her from, but she's a ripper.
Yeah, nice, cool. So yeah, I guess to wrap up what we've done so far in terms of like the marketing. So we obviously just went through our revenue tracker, and we've done 291K in engagement, forecasted revenue from engagement fees. Within under 4 months. So yeah, 3.5, 4 months. It was only off around like $7,000 in Facebook ad spend. Now, obviously, I didn't have the specific number because our Facebook account just got shut down, so we only had the new details. But yeah, no. I guess a question which I had was like, what does the future look like for Preston and Co? Like, do you have a specific vision which you have?
Yeah, I think for me, I think doubling that output. So I have scope to be able to at least double that because of the support I've got. So what are we, like 290, nearly 300 for what, 3 or 4 months? So, you know, if it's a busy back end of the year, maybe we can get to like $1 million in GCI. Who knows? And for that to be in the first 8 months, 9 months of, you know, being out on my own and obviously working with you, I think there's no way I would have thought that. But the idea is, as well as like I'm talking to a couple of people about maybe bringing some a buyer's agent or 2 on, maybe an associate and a buyer's agent as well. Just a service, because we've got so many leads coming through, like it's ridiculous, that I feel like they can be serviced a little bit better. So I just need that, and that's on me and us. So I think I'll be getting someone in to help with that, because it's just, yeah, it's like, it's absolutely bananas, to be honest. But
yeah, 100%.
Because I've got like all the leads coming through and chatting to a lot of people, getting these clients, I've got to go and do inspections and open them. So it's like a cycle where instead of going out for trying to have coffee catch-ups with agents and just going to properties just with no real clients or anything, the clients are still taking me to meet and build relationships with the agents and brokers and conveyancers and that sort of thing. So it works like tenfold when every step you're still trying to build relationships and going here, there. But if you've got these clients, they're actually taking you there anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I guess what I see in our vision, and I think the mill is a great goal. But yeah, becoming number one in the Sunshine Coast, scaling, and as we spoke about, like cementing your face in the market and just not letting people get enough of you, which is what we're obviously positioning. Like our ad strategy is working really, really well to this certain point. But to become number one in your market and the niche, then yeah, it's going to require a slightly different strategy, which obviously we're starting to build out, going really, really hard on video content, personal branding content, and all of that. So that when you're doing all these interviews and when you're doing all these client meetings and building all these connections, like your face is in the background on everyone's feed in the Sunshine Coast over and over and over again. So that's like the whole nother channel in itself, generating the leads, just the whole system. But yeah, no, like number one in the market, like that's very, very doable.
Yeah, I think so. And like, I know that there's a couple of bigger agencies out there that have, 5, 6, 7 buyers agents. But I generally believe that I can topple anyone that's got, multiple buyers agents with them. Without sounding too arrogant, there wouldn't be too many people that have the same sort of drive and discipline with all this that I sort of have. I believe, but I think getting that number one spot would be pretty awesome, especially within the first 12 months or so.
Yeah, 100%. It's like the same with all businesses as well. Like even in like marketing agencies, for example, there's a lot of like big marketing agencies who've been doing it for like 30, 40 years, like older guys who like the pitch kind of we go in with is like, oh, well, I'm 19. Like I've been doing this since I was 15. Like I literally like no social media. We grew up with social media. Like I do nothing but social media. It's like you can kind of like get that advantage. And if you want it, like you can take pretty much over anything. It's just the matter of having that drive and having the desire.
Yeah, that was one of the things I spoke to someone about, like having experience. And obviously I don't have a lot of experience compared to, people who've been in the industry for like 20 odd years. And my reply to that was like, well, are they still in touch with everyone? Like maybe they're a little bit out of touch. It's not what it was like. I know you adapt, you're too set in your ways where, I'm adapting every day to certain things and learning and still open to doing all that and young and fresh mind and that sort of thing. So, is experience always the best thing, or is it like your fresh eyes on the industry and that sort of thing? Is that, that a little bit better? I don't know. It's up to each individual, but that's the way I see it.
100%. I feel like the people who've been in it for such a long time, like they have skewed beliefs because like of previous experiences. Like when you have fresh eyes on something, I feel like it's always just the best thing in someone who's like always on top of it, up to date, and doing things like that.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a wrap for this one. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll hopefully look forward to doing a 12-month wrap up where we do end of Q4 and look back and see everything which has happened, and be in a much better position than we are now.
Yeah, 100%. It's I definitely couldn't have done it without your marketing and your skill set. That's for sure. I'd be probably, maybe I would have closed off 3 deals, maybe if I was lucky. But I think we're at about 12 or 14 over, like close to for the year. So appreciate you, mate.
I'm glad I could be of assistance.